Our guest, technically a Kiwi.
Technically.
Scott McLaughlin is here with us from Team Penske.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it having me on.
Now, I was asking this of one of your fellow drivers. Mr. Penske's done an amazing job, obviously, at the Speedway, taking a great thing and made it just even greater. And he's also, I guess, that he's become kind of a disinterested third party when it comes to his own team.
Yeah.
He can't give you guys any favoritism. And so he's not uninterested, but he's disinterested.
Oh, he's interested. Don't worry. He's dragged in the car a few times.
He may have a good lawyer. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, do you guys get any perks? And my particular one is parking. Does Team Penske get we're like 40 feet over from everybody else?
No. One thing that's really handy now, knowing the owner of the Speedway, is we kind of get to pick where our driver lot is a little bit each year. So I've actually moved to the other side of the driver lot because there used to be like these trees, or there is these trees on the other side. You get all the sap over your motorhome, and I was like, nah, I don't want to borrow that. So I went across the other side, and I got a nice little backyard and everything out of the back. So I'm learning the ropes.
Nice.
We were talking about some of the drivers being a little OCD.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have that a little bit? Because, I mean, you've got to be so focused.
Yeah.
And have everything in its place.
No, I'm not that crazy. I know there's a lot of people out there that are OCD. I'm probably the furthest one from it. I'm not messy by any chance, but I'm also just a little bit more. I'm organised in terms of my schedule and stuff. I like having that sorted, but from a bottles and the logos have got to be right. I'm nowhere near that.
Now, we're doing an independent survey. Mm-hmm. We have no basis for this. But,
love that.
I can say definitively,
Yeah.
More than half the drivers have blue eyes.
Oh, more than 3/4.
I think everyone except for I think two we've had today.
Yep.
This is, of course, totally insignificant, which is why I noticed it.
And you're be fast.
Yeah, well, there's something to it, I think.
Isn't that weird?
It totally is.
It is weird.
I never would have noticed it until you brought it up.
I don't look into my competitors' eyes.
Brown eyes.
Maybe it's time to start.
You take them right down.
Now, so do all of you guys get to, and lady, get to pick your helmet? Is that part of the typical deal? Or?
Yeah, so are you talking about the brand or the paint?
No, the paint.
Yeah, the paint is up to us. I mean, the one that I run for this race is actually a throwback to Rick Mears's yellow submarine helmet. So it's a very simple design, but it's historic, and I love this helmet. But then my other designs throughout the year, like that's the only thing that we don't get to pick at Penske is the color. The color is actually color coded to our car. So our sponsor, and it looks good normally. Like you have a blue car, you have a blue helmet. You have a red car, you have a red helmet. But ultimately you have the same base design, which is that's your DNA.
Do you get to speak with Mr. Penske much?
Yeah, I do. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Are you allowed to call him Roger? I'm afraid to.
I actually do, and I started calling him Mr. Penske when I very first met him. When I signed my contract, I actually came here in 2016 and signed my contract for Australia, and I said Mr. Penske, and he said no, it's Roger now. He just
nice.
So
you're like, I've arrived.
Yeah. So he's a super person. Like I know he's my boss, but he's just incredible. Like what he's done in business and then in motorsport itself, and then to have a guy like that as a mentor is pretty awesome. But he can definitely. You don't want to be on the bad side of him either. You can get into trouble pretty easily.
How about the great Rick Mears?
I love Rick. He's a guy that I lean on a ton. He's always in the garage, especially here at the Speedway. He's been a huge help with me in the last 3 years, learning the ropes of the Indianapolis 500, and we banter back and forth about bits and pieces. I mean, before qualifying the other day, I was really, really anxious and nervous, and he was one guy sort of calmed me down. He's like, "Well, you're nervous, but imagine what everyone else is like, who's not in a Penske car or whatever." So, and I was like, "Yeah, that probably makes sense."
Yeah. Tell me about the Thirsty Threes. I know Ben Bretzman. He's a buddy of mine, and seems like you guys got a pretty good thing going.
It's crazy. The fans have really caught on to it too, because they're like, they yell out Thirsty Threes to the guys when they roll down the car down Gasoline Alley. It's awesome. It's something that we everyone gets around.
Do you ever bring in an Aussie beer?
Yeah.
Or Steinlager.
I've got this nice beer. It's called Stone and Wood. That's my favourite beer.
That's a new one.
It's Pacific Ale. It's an Australian beer.
Yeah.
But very popular in Australia. But I have that in my bus.
Is it better than Cooper's? Because that's my favorite.
Oh, you like Cooper's?
Yeah,
no, I don't know.
Not so much.
No, I don't like
Come
Cooper's.
on, man. Come on, man.
You'd make a lot of people in Australia happy, but I don't like them. I don't like them too much.
All right, so we've determined what? No tattoos?
No tats for me, no. No.
So
my
that's
wife
awesome.
my wife has a sleeve though, but I don't have it. I don't have a tat. No.
If you win the Indianapolis 500 on this, the 107th running, is there going to be maybe a Borg Warner tattoo?
I don't know. Maybe.
Does anybody do
Yeah.
that? TK has Borg Warner, right?
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
got
I'd
a
probably
whole-
have something where no one could see if I got a tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah. Tight
Maybe on my butt.
you beat me to it. Damn it.
Is
Damn
there
it.
a Penske rule against visible tattoos?
No, I've just never been one
Yeah.
for.
I guess
for
Paul
tattoos.
Tracy had them.
Yeah. So,
We got the flyby.
oh yeah.
Are they rehearsing the flyby?
Yeah, probably.
say,
Yeah, that's
can
cool.
you see
It's over here. Yeah. You missed it.
Australians,
That's
all
honestly-
let
yeah.
us rejoice.
Wrong anthem.
Sorry.
I'm a Kiwi.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know that
Yeah.
Can you give me a little key?
Yeah, God of nations at the feet. Yeah, there we go.
That was good.
Yeah, that's the beginning. Yeah,
So it has no melody.
yeah. It has a melody, but I have no idea
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
great. I love it.
But,
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
New Zealand is one of the most beautiful places in the world. It
Yeah.
truly is. It's
Yeah.
Middle Earth. If you haven't
Are,
been,
It is.
are you, if you go there, are you well known?
Yeah.
How many famous Kiwis are there? I mean,
There's
Scott Dixon.
Yeah, Scott Dixon.
Dixon.
Yeah.
Between you and Scott Dixon, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously you had the Supercar championships and all that. That
Yeah.
was a huge deal on that part of the country.
Yeah.
But between you and Dixon, like who would get recognized first?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, egotistical me would say me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no. I think the difference between me and Dixie is like he's a legend, but I did a lot of my racing down under, like, and I grew up down under with
Right.
with my racing. So people sort of saw me on TV screens over there a lot more. But he's well recognized within the motorsport ranks for sure. I reckon if you went to a track, Dixon would get recognized straight away, really quickly. But probably walking around, maybe a little bit more just from people seeing me on TV from supercars and stuff.
well, Dixie is in the Air New Zealand preamble before you sit down. So now we got to get you now in the Air New Zealand. You said they have these famous people from New Zealand, and Dixon's one. Welcome to New Zealand, and please fashion just the belt.
Yeah. That was not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad, yeah.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
What is the best accent you do, Drew?
American.
American from Lebanon, Indiana. Hey, get over here, and we're gonna get some beers and sit in the creek. All right,
And dip a little bit.
pass me that skull, boy.
Now, do they ever ask you in these movies to smoke cigarettes?
Oh yeah, and they give me the fake ones, which are worse than the real ones. The fake ones are awful.
Now,
Really?
Yeah,
This is
they're
a yes or no question. I don't want you to throw anybody under the bus. Mm-hmm. Are there any drivers that still smoke?
Yes.
Okay, no names. No
No
names.
names. Yeah.
I've smoked with them myself.
I was referring to tobacco.
Just because I'm from California doesn't mean I smoke the wacky tobacco.
I actually asked Roger the other day during the Marlboro days, did he smoke? And he said he didn't smoke at all, which is incredible.
That
In
is
those
pretty
days,
hard to believe.
Like he wasn't. I thought being those sponsored by Marlboro or whatever, you'd be like, well, what the hell? So,
Rick Mears smoked. I can remember.
did he
seeing
really?
him.
Yeah, I actually didn't ask him about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I remember seeing him with a cigarette. So
Yeah.
he's an amazing guy.
Yeah,
That's a good
he
guy to
is.
have in your corner.
He's an awesome.
How much has changed? I mean, it's so interesting that he can still help you, even though it's got to be vastly different. But at the same time, there's so much stuff that's the same 25 years down the road or whatever.
Well,
it is.
this track it's so unique to any other we go to, and the experience level here, whether you're Dixon or TK, you've immediately got an advantage on some guys, especially like myself. If you are Dixon or TK, so I really lean on Rick for the track knowledge more so than anything.
Sure.
Like the line and where I put the car and what to expect with this wind or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just because he's done millions of laps around here and fast laps too.
Fast
So he's an incredible guy. He's cornered into our garage because every time he walks outside, he's just swarmed like a celebrity. He's a guru and someone I'm lucky to call a friend now.
It's great.
Well, okay. Last question.
Well, last question. What does it feel like to be a TV star? I mean, that 100 Days of Indy, especially that first episode, man. It was so great because you were so authentic. But was that weird? Like, are people noticing? Are you getting phone calls from friends and family and people?
Not so much, but like I had a lot more fans coming up to me and talking about the 33s and we're still doing Taco
Tuesday,
and all
Taco
that stuff.
Friday,
Taco Friday. Actually, we're going to do that tomorrow night.
I'll be right over.
Yeah. So it's I think it's been awesome for the sport, man. Like just to have like that exposure, and it'll just get bigger and bigger. I think, and people realize how cool this event is. Not only for how cool the racing is, but I think the characters behind the sport as well, whether it's myself, whether it's Joseph, whether it's Simon Pagenaud, whether it's anyone that's in that right. Like we have so many cool characters. Pato, for instance, is such an electric personality that we're very lucky to have in the sport, and hopefully we can grow with.
The whole with your wife and her family and all that. I just felt that was such a cool moment and to be a fly on the wall and be able to watch that. Like everybody wants the behind the scenes, and that's what they're asking for. And the way they packaged all that together was awesome. And I felt like it came off really, really good for for you and the family.
No, I appreciate that. Like we've got a really cool, we've got a really cool group, and my father-in-law drives my bus, and mum-in-law's always there, and it's for me, like I said in the show, like it's awesome to have a family here, but not only here, but in New Zealand as well with my mum and dad. So it's awesome, and the having him drive the bus around has been really handy.
That's cool.
It saves my pocket a lot too.
All right. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Wait, did we say who plays you in a movie?
No.
We're asking everybody that.
We need someone like real good, right?
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
There you go. Nice. I thought you might go with a New Zealand actor, but I think Taika Waititi could play you.
Jason Momoa might be a little bit
I like it. Good choice.
Cheers.
Nice job, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, good stuff. Can we get a picture with